Hello, everyone. I am Amber Pierce, and this is Ashley Tullis with Season 4, Episode 10 of Weekly Drip. Your girl's coming in to tell you what's going on in Drip this week. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm a little under the weather, but I'm okay. Speaking of weather, it's pretty pleasant, so thankful for that.
Pretty mild, pretty mild. This
Yeah.
is tolerable.
Right? It's not so bad, not so bad. But I have a sneaking suspicion that, I would say a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, that's not the story anymore. I think it's about to change. I think we're really going to get out of spring soon.
How wonderful would it be if it could be just about like this through next week's festivities?
Is something happening next week?
I don't know. Is something happening next week? Is it Drip's favorite event of the year?
No.
It's my favorite.
Do tell, what is happening next week?
Just this fun little shindig called Founders Day, where everybody shows up and we have a great time. We have the carnival that's put on, and it's just a wonderful place where I think that you and I had talked about this before. I don't know if we talked about it live, but as a parent, I feel like it's a time that you can let your kids go off and ride the rides and be together. And because we're in this wonderful Drip bubble, like, you know that your neighbors are also keeping an eye out for your children. And if anyone acts up, you're going to find out about it.
It takes a village.
In like 5 seconds, somebody's going to be calling you. Do you know what your kid is doing?
Yeah. And at Founders Day, more than a village shows up. I feel like it is thousands.
Yes. So much fun. What is your favorite, like, if you could say one thing about Founders Day, what would you say is your favorite one thing?
My favorite one thing, the parade.
Ooh, that's fun. Are you going to be in the parade this year?
No, but I love a parade. I mean, I love a parade. So every small town has a festival, right? Like that. Well, at least in Texas. Is it that way, like across the US? I don't know. I just know about Texas. Right?
Everywhere that matters has a parade.
So where I grew up, we had a festival. It actually happened like a week or so ago. The Bluebonnet Festival is what happens in the town I grew up in.
Ooh.
And they used to do these races that were so cool. And if any of my Burnett friends happen to watch this Dripping Spring show, I hope you'll remind me the name of it. But they have teams of 4, and they create a cart, typically out of a bed, and you put somebody, usually a female, on said cart, and then you race other teams. So it's like chariot races, but you have to like craft your own.
Oh, that's awesome.
God, I wish I could remember the name of it. So the parade is my favorite thing, but I do believe there's one thing missing, and it would be those little chariot races. Wouldn't that be fun?
I feel like maybe we can talk to somebody about having something like that, because yes, I feel like that would be so wonderful. Where I used to live in Nevada, there's a small town called Virginia City, and they have outhouse races.
Oh,
And it's kind of like that. Like, you have the outhouse, and like you are racing outhouses. And I don't know, maybe I'm weird, I don't know, but I love those kinds of things. I think they're fantastic.
That does not sound crappy at all. Yes. Wait, go the other way. Martin says he wants it to be hot for Founders, that we sell more beer. Who's selling beer, Martin? Are you personally selling beer? Where do we go to get the cold beer? I need to know. Do you know why bars have peanuts on them?
I am willing to bet, just because that brought up, because the salty makes you thirsty.
Yes, exactly. You sell more beer when you have peanuts out on the bar top. I don't go to a lot of bars, so I'm not sure if in the post-COVID world that still exists.
That's something. I don't know.
But I also feel kind of strongly that the places that actually put the peanuts out on the bar, maybe they've always lived in a post-COVID world and it didn't matter anyway. Speaking of, I did notice Texas Roadhouse removed the peanuts from their table at COVID and they've never come back.
Interesting.
I know.
Did you ever actually throw them on the ground like they tell you that you can? Or like, was that just a myth? Because I never could do it. Because
Yeah, I did.
You don't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the fun of it. Oh, it felt so good. And to be fair, I worked in the service industry for a very, very long time. Very long time. So I mean, I paid my waitress dues. And if you tell me you can make a mess and it's okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna get crazy with it. I'm not gonna like throw them over the next table. It's just nicely on the floor. Lauren says they still have them. They're just in a bag now.
Okay, so you get them in a bag. Can you still throw them on the floor? Is that still a thing? Like,
I don't know. I didn't see any, but it just occurred to me. But I digress. I apologize. We're going to talk about Dripping Springs, so I'm so sorry. I don't think we're going to have a Texas Roadhouse anytime soon. Certainly not for this topic of conversation.
Stay over there. We can go visit them when we want to, and then we get to come back home where it's still, we still have small town places like Turcotte and Time and Dough and all of the local places that we love.
Where you don't throw things on the floor because that is unacceptable.
Because it is your neighbor that is cleaning that up, and don't do that. Don't be rude.
Excuse me. Too funny. So we have something to celebrate this week.
What are we celebrating this week?
It's International Dark Skies Week. We get to celebrate the dark skies.
Were you going to talk about something like that?
I mean, maybe. Were you?
I have something on my list.
I have something on my list too.
You go first.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give away what I think's on your list. This is like a fun game show of do we find the same things going on? Is the thing on your list also a place that serves craft beer?
No.
Oh.
Okay, you go.
Okay. So I believe it's on, this you would definitely know. I believe it's on Friday and you have to have tickets in advance. But Jester King right in our backyard is having a star party.
I'm writing this down. Jester King star party.
And that's to celebrate the stars in the sky, not the stars in our community. Although rumor has it we have a few.
We have some. We've got some pretty big deal people in our vicinity who also know that Dripping Springs is amazing and the place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's happening on Friday. Also, I feel like it's like a very poorly kept secret, but Reimer's Ranch has an observatory and they do events all the dadgum time. Their observatory's been open, since like right before we moved here. I think it opened in 2015. And used to, you could just like cruise up and go to their events, but now you need to make a reservation in advance. So they're having a thing on Sunday, and they're looking at star clusters, gases, and something else. And I can't quite remember what it was. But those are going on all to celebrate our dark skies. I really need to post a picture that our family took of the Milky Way right here in Dripping Springs. It will like knock your socks off. It's amazing.
Oh, yes, please share that. I want to see that.
I will.
I love sky pictures. Sunset, sunrise, the sky. Yes, all the good things.
All the things.
So mine is a little bit further away. Mine is there's going to be on Saturday is the Blue Hole Star Party.
Oh, fun.
And the Texas State Astronomy Club is going to be sharing their telescopes and also sharing their knowledge about the stars. And so you can come out, bring a picnic, bring a blanket, probably suggested to bring a flashlight because it's going to be dark. And they're going to be talking about the stars.
Do you know what kind of flashlight you need at a star party?
Is there a specific kind?
Yes.
I've never been to a star party. Tell me the things I need to know.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. So when you go to observe stars, it's just like in the morning when you flip on the light, like you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
So at star parties, if you have a really bright light, like from a flashlight, it really messes up how much of the sky that you can see. So it's recommended that you have a red light. So those are kind of the best for navigating it around. And of course, you don't want to have them on more than is necessary. Do you see that bug flying around?
It is. It's after you. Shield it. That's nice dodging skills.
So yeah, you should have red lights at star parties. And our Parks and Rec department did do a star party at Founders last year. I wonder if they have another one coming up. I need to get on their website and see. But I'm a huge fan of telescopes and astronomy, and I just find it super fascinating. Every summer, I think it's pronounced Perseid or Perseid meteor shower happens when it's like way too hot to be outside. But you can just go like lay in your driveway and stare at the sky and see shooting star after shooting star after shooting star after shooting star. Like, I mean, tons of them.
Did you hear about the place? I think it was off of 12 that they had like blow up hot tubs where you could go rent like your own hot tub, but it wasn't really hot. It was like a cold tub. And they were doing like movies and stuff where you like each person rented their little mini pool, and then you could watch movies. Like, I feel like that would be a perfect time to go to a place like that. I can't remember what it's called, so I can't give it the recognition it deserves. But if anybody watching can tell us what that was, I'm almost positive it was off of 12. But that sounded really cool. And speaking of like when it's hot outside and you want to be watching the stars, I feel like that would be wonderful.
Yes, any body of water will do.
Yes. So also Friday is Fly Friday at Suds Monkey, and they are starting at 6:00. They're going to be having chill reggae, which is not something I have heard of there being a lot of in the area, reggae. So anyone who has been dying for some reggae, Suds Monkey, Friday, 6:00.
Yeah, man.
Ja, man. Interesting enough, my first concert was actually a reggae concert. It was like
who was it?
Probably not anyone has ever heard of. They were called Jawbone.
Jawbone. B-O-N-E. Okay.
I'm like your jawbone.
I love it. My first concert was with my cousin in the 6th grade. She had tickets at the Frank Irwin Center for Melissa Etheridge. So that was pretty decent. And then when I got into high school, my first concert with friends was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in San Antonio. So
that's another good one.
I feel like I kind of wish we had skipped Melissa Etheridge and I could say like Tom Petty was my first actual concert. But that's not how my life worked out, and that's all right.
Just the fact that you got to see Tom Petty, like
R.I.P. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is definitely one of my go-to jams is turning on some Tom Petty.
Oh, it's always good, right? Like it doesn't really even matter the song. Like it's good background music, always music. I honestly
like everyone can agree.
Yeah.
It's good for all ages.
Like I've never heard somebody be like, "Oh my gosh, turn this off."
Oh, not Tom Petty again. Oh. No one ever.
Which also means I probably haven't overplayed it.
Fair. Yes. Tom Petty is a big one at my house. Yeah. So the other thing I have on my list is Dinner by the Bite, which is tomorrow and is happening at Wilson Appliance. And
by the Bite?
Yes.
Is this what I think it is?
It is. I guess they have several kitchens set up and they have several chefs coming in that are creating their They're bleh, they are creating their most popular dishes, and they're creating them in bite sizes. And so it's $75 ahead of time, $85 at the door, but the benefits are going to Paws Shelter of Central Texas. So
Oh, I love it.
love them. That's where we got Kyle,
I
who's
love it.
not allowed in here when I'm on here anymore.
we learn, we grow, we do better.
now we know his tail likes the camera.
I went to a wedding years ago, and during cocktail hour, they had like appetizers that they passed around as one does at a wedding. Mm-hmm. And somebody came around with little cups of tomato soup with like a little wedge of a grilled cheese sandwich in it. And that was like the best cocktail hour pass around ever. It was so good. It was so That's good. Awesome. And it just like transported me to somewhere else, as like really good food kind of should. It was cool. Mm-hmm. It was really, really cool. So I'm imagining that's like what this is going to be like. Just really amazing foods coming out, dinner in a bite. That's so clever. I love it.
And I haven't seen anything specific as to what chefs or what offerings are going to be there. So it just gets to be a fun little surprise.
An adventure.
Yes, an adventure.
I also was reading, I think it was yesterday, Home in a Month is wrapping up the Zapata family's home, and there's a final push for volunteers that are needed. So if anyone wants more info, DM me, and I'll get you on the email blast for that so you can stay up to date. In my mind, the workday is happening April 26th, and you don't have to be like a handyman or a carpenter or have like a lot of trades experience. Like they'll put you to work, and there is an opportunity to serve. So I just wanted to share that. And on the fun side of things, not that serving isn't fun, it's always fun. Dripping Springs Family Campout is happening on Cinco de Mayo. I believe that's going to be happening at Ranch Park. They are having a stargazing party at 7 p.m. on Friday, May the 5th. And in the morning, you're going to wake up to a donut breakfast, a guided hike. And at 9 a.m., you're going to pack up your camp and you're going to go enjoy your weekend. Get out.
Get in, have fun, get out.
As it should be. Pack in, pack out. So admission is $25. That's for up to 4 people. And you're going to want to go register on their website, dripping-springs-ranchpark.com/family-campout is where you're going to go register for that. So it's only $25 for your whole family, and they're going to entertain you and then feed you in the morning. I think that's a huge win.
That sounds like fun. My son has been asking a lot recently to go camping. So
really,
maybe that's a good one.
Yeah, like low key, local. I love it.
It's still fun, surrounded by other families. So we know it's going to be a family-friendly event. That's definitely
my house is literally 5 minutes away. If it rains like a tsunami, just y'all come on over. We got you covered. Don't worry. Oh, thank you. Martin posted the link for the Home in a Month volunteer form. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Martin.
Yes, he's the
and
best.
Also, your protest your property taxes is next Wednesday, the 26th at 6 p.m. So
it is.
You didn't hear us last week, hear Ashley talking about the importance of getting educated in on this next Wednesday, 26th, 6 o'clock. And
you know, I was talking about this event with someone, and we were just talking about, the company that I've partnered with and that's helping me with this. And it occurred to me that the property tax conversation might not feel super real and relevant yet, but I heard a rumor this morning that those values are out. So those letters are going to be hitting mailboxes very, very soon, and it will happen before our event next Wednesday. So when you open it up, maybe sit down when you open your mail. I just think that would be a great idea. And if you don't like what it says, let's protest your taxes. Heck, if they didn't bump them all that much and you haven't protested before, or you didn't last year, or you got busy, or your kids were in school on the first day of school when you were asked to come in, because they don't make it easy, protest anyway. 94% of people do not protest, and that is absolutely crazy. So when we're doing things like we're voting on the bond election in Dripping Springs that's coming up in May, and we're like, oh my God, this is going to raise my taxes. Well, a great way to not have your taxes go up is to protest those property values. And I'm giving you an easy button. So.
And I have a question, and maybe you can answer this and maybe you can't. So
okay.
if say your taxes just for whatever, let's say your taxes increased by 1% this year, can you potentially protest beyond the 1% that it increased this year to go back further? Or can you only protest for the increase of that year?
So that's going to be a conversation that you have directly with the company that I've partnered with. It is my impression that they can go back, and we're going to look at things for you like, do you have your homestead exemption in place? If you don't have a homestead exemption in place, get one in place ASAP. A couple of years ago, you would have to wait until the year after you bought your home. So if you bought in June, you would have to wait until the following January, and then you would put your homestead exemption in place by April the 15th. That is no longer the case in Texas. You can go ahead and file for that homestead exemption immediately. And that keeps your taxes from jumping more than 10% per year. They can, however, raise the value of your property as much as they deem fit. Whatever they think it needs to be, the county can do that. And they're going to use algorithms and their own tech to decide what that value is. But man, I walked through a home the other day that the client was wanting to put on the market, investment property. Nobody's lived there in years. The county has them valued at almost $500,000. And I'll tell you what, if I put a for sale sign in the yard and tried to sell it for $500,000, all my realtor friends will call and laugh at me because it is not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. The county has no idea what the inside of your home looks like. We're also a non-disclosure state, so they have no idea what you're actually paying for your home. And I'm on my soapbox. I'm so sorry. I'll get off of it.
Don't be sorry. Educate us.
Yes. And just to check that for this year, it's just $15, and it actually is going to Foster Village. So it's a contribution to a local nonprofit near and dear to my heart and a lot of people's heart in the area. So you can feel good about checking it for way cheaper than a meal at Texas Roadhouse, where you can apparently still throw peanuts on
the floor. Just one other thing I want to bring up with everyone going into this next week, because it looks like we've got more rain coming. Just make sure, if it's been a little while since we had some rain and it looks like we may be getting a lot, just keep an eye on your ceiling. If you notice any wet spots, if you noticed any kind of water intrusion, even if you're not sure if it's a new spot or an old spot, please call us. Our estimates are free. We're happy to come out and take a look for free. We would rather come and look and verify that you are dry and that there is not a problem and charge you nothing for that than have you not call us and come to find out in a week or two that there's a much bigger problem. So just keep an eye on your ceilings, keep an eye on the corners of the rooms, anywhere where there's any kind of dark discoloration. Just give us a call and we're happy to come out and take a look.
Or if the paint starts to bubble,
yes.
Don't poke it. Don't poke it. You're going to want to poke it. Don't do it.
It's tempting. I get it. It's very tempting, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just call us.
Well, I think that's going to be a wrap for today. Again, I'm Ashley Tullis, #1 realtor in Dripping Springs with Atomic Properties Group at Keller Williams Realty. This is my cohort, Amber Pierce, owner of Coit Cleaning and Restoration, local here to Dripping Springs. You know who to call if you need water restoration or if you need a whole new home. If that water damage gets so bad you just want to throw the whole thing out, I'll get you a new one. I'd be happy to do it. So that's a wrap on Weekly Drip Season 4, Episode 10. As always, we are here Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you next week, Dripping Springs.
Bye. See you next week.